Welcome, comic lovers. So the third of the Phoenix Fan Fusion comic haul. This is probably going to be two. This is the 50-cent books. There were quite a few that I picked up. So we'll go through that and see how much this takes and how many I have to break it up into, how many videos. Um, so we're going to start with Knights of the Dinner Table. Right? So this is a book by Jolly Blackburn. It actually makes fun of, or tells tales of, well, role-playing games and role-playing players and what was going on. Right. So this is kind of satire of the role-playing game community. So it's kind of fun. If you've ever played D&D or any of those other sort of games, this is kind of making fun of that sort of stuff. And it was fun. So it first appeared in Shadis #2, and that was back in 1990 as a single page filler. In Shadis 6, he tried to pull it out. Jolly Blackburn, who's a creator, tried to pull it out, replaced it with some professional work, because this was not professional. He kind of just did this. And he's no artist or anything else. He was just retelling tales. He replaced it, but the fans just complained about it a lot. So it actually stayed in Shadis all the way through #21. Blackburn had started Shadis and the Alderac Entertainment Group, who makes role-playing games, obviously, with some partners, but they separated in around 1995. He then started publishing it on his own. And so he published this Knights of the Dinner Table for a few issues, about 4 issues, and then Kenzer came along, and these are by Kenzer and Company, published it. They loved to be involved with Blackburn and wanted them involved in their company. So he started publishing the monthly series in '95. First 4 again on his own, the rest with Kenzer. This is issue 139. I don't know, they're still publishing them, so I don't know where they're at. I'm not a big, this isn't something I get regularly, but I thought it was pretty cool, funny. I remember these in Dragon magazine. So these ran in Dragon 1996 to 2000. It ran issue 226 to 269 until it was replaced by Nodwick. And here's a Nodwick comic. Now, Nodwick didn't get published as much. Nodwick was by Aaron Williams, and it began as the comic strip, and then they came to a 2-page thing in Dragon magazine in issue 270, taking over for where Knights of the Dinner Table went on. And Nodwick, as a monthly series or bi-monthly series, whatever it was, every few months, only lasted about 36 issues until it was canceled. So these are pretty cool. Kind of on the weird side, for sure. Definitely role-playing theme. Nodwick pokes fun of the adventuring happening. So the stuff that really couldn't happen, that happens when you role-play your characters and what your characters do. Things that couldn't happen in real life, they actually poke fun at. So one pokes fun at the adventures, one pokes fun at the actual players. Some other stuff. So then we got the New 52. Again, I mentioned I was not a big follower of it at the time. So All-Star Western. This is with Jonah Hex, and Bat Lash appears in it. That's #7. This is #10. Mainly it was Jonah Hex stories, but this one did have Bat Lash in it. I like some Bat Lash. That's just old stuff. And then Guns of the Dragon. This is from 1998. This is got Enemy Ace. It's got Bat Lash and Biff Bradley. These lesser known characters. People forget, Zatara. First appearances, Action Comics #1, right? He was a bit player. Superman, obviously, is the big guy everybody remembers. Biff Bradley, Bat Lash, all these guys were bit players. One of the things that I think is kind of cool sometimes is you can see on the back the stamp from where this book probably originated, and that's J&J Comics in Mountain Valley, California, which is kind of cool. Like, I love seeing old comic book stores. So this is issue 1. Issue 2 has Miss Fear and Kung, and then didn't have issue 3, but it did have issue 4. So again, I went ahead and got it. Oh, I said Mountain Valley. I think it's Fountain Valley. Fountain Valley, California. This one is it's less blurry. Again, with the New 52, they did a Men of War. I'm going to assume that Sergeant Rock's in here, or some version of him. And then they did Vertigo. This is, when did they do Vertigo? That was in the 90s. This is by Garth Ennis, The Unknown Soldier, which was a classic character. And this one again has that stamp on the back. Clearly I'm going to pull all these out and rebag and board, but this was Dr. Comics and Mr. Games from Oakland, California. I did get 1, I got 2, 3, and 4, which is kind of cool, being able to get them all. It was a 4-issue limited series for Vertigo, which was more, they could go into more adult or real life experiences. Some people considered it their horror title, but it wasn't really a horror so much as it was just deeper, more adult oriented thoughts, trying to get away from the idea that comics were for kids. I still believe comics are for kids, so, you know. Suicide Squad number 7, and this one does have Sergeant Frank Rock in it, so I kind of thought that was cool. He was in the Sergeant Rock, obviously, and a lot of the Men at War stories. Suicide Squad number 10, again this one has Frank Rock. And then OMAC Project, this is number 1 of 6, number 2 of 6, 3 of 6, 4 of 6, and this is the countdown to Infinity Crisis, and 5 of 6, and no, I didn't get 6 of 6, it wasn't there. It was probably a key somebody picked out, I don't know, because I hadn't read it. And this is the OMAC Project Special, Infinity Crisis Special, so this came out afterwards. So the other was a prelude, and then this was kind of a thing afterwards. Again, I haven't read them, but I thought they were kind of cool, and I got most of them, so then I can just look and find the others. Next we have some America's Best. This is Tom Strong, your science hero, based on characters like Doc Savage, or any of those science heroes from back in the golden age of comics. There was another Doc Strange character, and I guess in the Tom Strong series they do meet up with that character. I don't remember who owned him. Tom Strong, number 7. They're kind of a cool thing from America's Best. They also did Tomorrow Stories. So this is number 1 of Tomorrow Stories, which is kind of cool. And they have different, all these are kind of like Golden Age characters. We have Jack B. Quick, The Cobweb, and The First American. And then we have number 3, which also has Gray Shirt. I love these sort of things that are kind of redoing of Golden Age characters. Number 7, or even less Golden Age and more pulp. Doc Savage was a pulp star. And of course, The Shadow. What evil lurks in the hearts of men, only the Shadow knows. So this one's by DC. This is number 8. Definitely pulp heroes from the old radio show. Number 9. And then of course there was a series of books. These were written by, I believe, Maxwell Grant, which might have been a house name. I don't remember. The Death-Defying Devil. This is actually a character called the Death-Defying Daredevil. But when they brought them back, this is Dynamite bringing it back, they didn't want to confuse it with Marvel's Daredevil. So that's cool. This is number 2, and then I did get number 3. Again, I love these revamping Golden Age characters. I don't know why some of these characters didn't stick around. Well, actually, probably the writing wasn't that great. Impact Comics, the Black Hood, another Golden Age character brought back. And then, of course, Impact Comics, the Jaguar. This was number 1. And then this is Jaguar number 1, again, bringing them back. The Jaguar and the Black Hood had been around in MLJ or Archie Comics. Before it was Archie, it was MLJ. So that's kind of cool. Another DC character, we have Mr. Terrific. This is a revamp of the previous Mr. Terrific. And this was part of that New 52. Again, I had not been involved in. What else we got? We got Peter Cannon Thunderbolt. This is the original Thunderbolt character. Mr. Miracle. Some Kirby goodness. This is an old one, number 21. And then we have a newer one, number 4 of a different series. And then we have from the Seven Soldiers stuff that was going on by Grant Morrison. This is number 4. I don't think of him as a Seven Soldier Victory, but Grant Morrison was redoing it. I didn't read them all. I'll have to take a look at them. I did find, and again, I didn't find the others in the series. They were a 4-issue miniseries each one. I did find, though, the Bulleteer, number 1, part of that same Seven Soldiers by Grant Morrison. And then number 2. And then number 3. And again, this is a 4-issue miniseries. And I got number 4. So that was nice. Good find. Again, at 50 cents each. It was a good find. Some JSA All-Stars, number 4. I love me those Golden Age characters. Number 4. And number 9. And then a lovely Justice Society of America. This is by Jeff Jones. This is just that cool set of covers where they had each one, the Alex Ross ones, and every one of them had one of the covers. I think I have some of these, but I don't know particularly which ones, so this was a nice find. Next we have a bunch of stories. So I'm going to share some stories with you. So first, let's talk about Captain Thunder and the Blue Bolt. And Blue Bolt. This is number 1 from 1987. It was created by Roy and Dan Thomas for Heroic Publishing. So Roy's written almost everything in comics, and if you know anything about me, I'm a big All-Star Squadron fan, and he wrote that. He's the first to follow Stan Lee as the editor of Marvel Comics. Everybody kind of knows that one. He wrote a ton of Marvel characters. Marvel's Conan, the Avengers, Invaders, X-Men, many others. He created characters like Wolverine and some of the others. Just a ton, like genuinely a lot. At DC, he's most well known for the All-Star Squadron, Iraq, Infinity Incorporated, Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew, and basically anything that has to do with Golden Age characters, he has his hand in. He wrote the Secret Origins for them, and all sorts of other stuff back in the 80s and 90s. And he, like I said, he created a ton of them, revitalized Golden Age characters for both the Invaders at Marvel and then All-Star Squadron for DC. Dan, his wife, working with Roy, worked with Roy on the All-Star Squadron, Infinity Inc., Arak, which she's the one who came up with that idea of natives discovering Europe. So that was kind of cool. She's also got credit on West Coast Avengers. I believe I know she's the first female author credited with writing comics premier female superhero, Wonder Woman. I think it was issue 300, and she's, of the first series, she is the first one. She's also involved in this, which is cool, and she is, so the character Firebrand 2 is named Danette Riley, of the All-Star Squad, from Firebrand from the All-Star Squadron is named Danette Riley. Danette being Dan's first name. She did change it legally. So that's pretty cool. I thought it was just great. This is a series from 1987, and I just thought it was really cool. And then another thing that they had, which I totally have read and enjoyed. So there's a book called The Amazing Adventures of Kavalier and Clay, and it's by Michael Chabon, and it follows two Jewish cousins in New York as they become major players in the comic book industry of the Golden Age. So it's pretty cool. Their main fictional character, or their main superhero character, comic character, is the Escapist. And so this is a book on that. And what's interesting about this particular one, so first, the book, the novel, Amazing Adventures of Kavalier and Clay, basically takes place shortly before Superman appears, and then goes all the way through the Senate hearings, or into the Senate hearings on juvenile delinquency that happened from Wertham's book, which is where we talk about it, but a lot of other stuff was going on historically at that time. So it's pretty cool. That's the time frame. And this book is kind of a sequel to the original novel. I do not know if it is actually approved. Like, did Michael Chabon have anything to do with it? I don't know. I saw this and jumped at it. I've read the book a few years ago. I will say that there are similarities in the book where you can see Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster, Stan Lee, Simon and Kirby, Bob Kane and Bill Finger, Will Eisner, who else? Like, you can see similarities in the two characters of the novel in the actual real life stories of comic book creators. And I thought it was so cool. So I picked this up. Again, 50 cents. You can't go wrong. It's not going to be anything valuable. I don't care. Like, I don't collect to worry about trading or, flipping. I collect because I like it. And that's a big thing. When you collect, comics are never going to be worth what they were. You either have to invest a lot of money and buy the rare ones, Silver Age, Golden Age, etc., or you collect because you like it. And if you're lucky, it turns out to be worth something. If it's not, it's not. It's fine. Never get into collecting because you think it's going to be worth something. That's called investing, and you'd be better off doing it in the stock market or in art. Another thing from Hero Comics or Heroic Publishing is Flare. And then I got one, so this is Flare 1, and I found Flare 2, so that was kind of cool. Flare did Heroic Hero Comics did Champions and a few other books. Those two being one of them. And then we have some nice, like, kind of weird goodness. Angel and Ape are back. So that's kind of cool. Again, I say back, and these came out in the 80s. No, I'm sorry, 91. So I do remember when this came out. And then number 2, and this has the nice Dumb Bunny on the cover, super strong, not real bright. Yeah, The Inferior Five was a comic book or appeared in some comics, and she's one of them, and it's kind of cool. The Demon, number 5. This is of a 6-issue mini-series. And number 6. And then, as I mentioned at the con, Starlin was there, and I picked up Weird, number 4. This is a mini-series that Starlin did. A lot of these space or almost psychedelic things Starlin did, wrote. Obviously creator of Thanos and Mongul for Thanos for Marvel, Mongul for DC, and tons of other characters in the space or cosmic genre. So it's pretty cool. So that was Weird. I did find Ragman, Cry of the Dead, number 3, and number 4. Again, I did not, I didn't see more of these, otherwise I'd have picked up the whole series. But nice, Kubrick covers, gotta love that. And then we have Arion, Lord of Atlantis. This is number 4. This is around the same time as Arak had come out, and Warlord and stuff, so I love that sort of stuff, which we'll see a Warlord in a minute. This is Kull, which is another Robert E. Howard character. This is for Marvel. And then there's the Warlord. This one's number 89, so it's not the early ones. What was that Kull? That Kull was issue 26. And then we have the new series of Warlord. This is number 15, and of course done with that classic Grell, Mike Grell art that he was so well known for here and in Warlord, and then in Green Arrow. I will say though that an underappreciated thing that he did was he did a bunch of Legion of Superheroes too. And I think a lot of their outfits in the 60s and 70s really come from him. At least that's how I associate them because of the style. So I just think it's cool. Sword of the Atom, number 3. This was a mini-series where he was stuck small, Roy. And this is Gil Kane, of course, classic work. It was beautiful. I also have the all-new Atom, number 2, and number 3, so that's cool. And then we have Secret Origins, number 39, Animal Man and Man-Bat. And Secret 6, number 2. That follows Villains, including Catman. Superboy, number 87 of the, I'm not sure what volume this is, but this is from 91. New 52, we got Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 21. And then we have the Teen Titans, number 34. This is at year 1 year later story arc. Alright, I'm going to end this here and come back with more, part 2 of the 50 centers. And we'll go over how many I got and what the last bit were. Remember, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, let me know. I'm trying to keep them short, so all my YouTube videos tend to be around 20, under 20 minutes, so that's what I'm shooting for. If that's not okay, you want shorter, you want longer, let me know in the comment section. Alright, have a good day.